am back recording this video again. If you guys want to know what happens in part 1 of this review, or the book, click the link in the description to find out. Hello everyone, this is T.O.S.G. 1994. I'm back with the part 2 of my review of Captain Underpants and the Invasion of the Incredibly Naughty Cafeteria Ledge from Outer Space, part 2. Alright, and we left off where I believe George and Harold find out that all of the students have been turned to zombie nerds. So, let's begin. So they go to investigate, and they notice that the lunch ladies are acting quite suspicious. Due to their laughing and their planning and everything, George and Harold notice that the carton of juice is on the table, so they decide to pour it out, but they're pouring it on something that would later become him. So they have to go tell Mr. Krupp, otherwise they're in deep trouble, but the problem is Mr. Krupp doesn't believe them. So he decides to call Miss Anthrope to his office. Miss Anthrope, they say that Miss Anthrope looks different and everything, but then Miss Anthrope leans over and takes a huge chunk out of Mr. Krupp's desk. Even Mr. Krupp had to agree that Miss Anthrope was acting quite more evil than usual, so they go down to the ladies' lunchroom. And then Harold gets grabbed by one of the aliens. Gotcha! And then Harold screams, running off. And then it's revealed that they have tentacles. George explains that to Mr. Krupp that they're aliens, but Mr. Krupp is in shock pretty much. But then something bad happens. Well, actually good in this case, but bad for George and Harold. And strange, actually, because one of the aliens snapped their fingers like this. But wait, they have tentacles. Harold points out that you can't snap a tentacle, but apparently it's too late to realize because he's turning into Captain Underpants. So Captain Underpants dashes out the room, and George and Harold try to chase after him, but it's too late because the aliens are blocking their way. So comes an epic flip-orama scene, which is probably going to be hard to do considering the fact that this isn't a hardcover book. So yeah, after they do the flip-orama battle scenes, Captain Underpants comes back to save the day, but he's apparently a little too late. The two boys ask him where he was, but Captain Underpants replies with something weird. He says that he was at the shoe store ordering a cheeseburger, which if you guys don't know, that's what it said as like the graphic violence warning thing. And after that, the aliens don't give up, but they go onto an intercom and tell all the zombie nerds to defeat Captain Underpants and George and Harold. So they're all surrounded by evil lunchroom zombie nerds. So Captain Underpants says to the underwear cave, but there's no underwear cave. So he says just climb the ladder instead, where a surprise is waiting for them. They notice that the big spaceship that the three aliens arrived on is there, and they know that Captain Underpants is the only one that noticed a giant mutant dandelion, which earlier in the book they pour some kind of superpower juice into the mouth of a dandelion. No wait, dandelions don't have mouths except this one. But I guess, well, yeah. They have roots, So George and Harold are confused where that came from, so they decide to quickly climb into the ship where they're being followed by the Dandelion and the aliens, which and also this is something I'd like to point out. On the website, I was actually looking at this book, and apparently some of the copies have a missing words on, I believe, page 96, I believe, 97 or 96, I believe, and apparently I have it. I'll show you. Yep, see? Absolutely no words on this page. Not even a page number. And I bet Dave could have put... Oh, dang, the dogs. But, they... See, he even said on the website that there was no, that only came in a rare version. So, they discover a fridge of all the juices that they have from space, like superpower juice, zombie nerd juice, or something like that, and fuel, I believe. Captain Underpants finds the superpower juice, but then for some reason, I guess George doesn't want Captain Underpants to have more trouble with him because he would have superpowers if he drank it. He just kind of like yanked it out of Captain Underpants' hands, but then all of a sudden they get followed by the evil lunchroom zombie nerds, and it's not looking good for the waistband warrior and the two boys. So they step into a cage where Captain Underpants tries to protect them, but I don't see any reason why, because they're trapped in a cage. So they come up with a plan. They see the juices on the table, I believe, and they carefully peel the labels while the three aliens are laughing their guts out. And don't worry, there's no violence in this book at all. And literally, they are so stupid that they can't even tell, I believe in the full color version of this book, that the cartons and the labels are different colors when they switch them. Captain Underpants doesn't really get the plan, but then once the ship starts to sputter and shake and it's not looking good for the three, Captain Underpants is still smiling, but that smile doesn't last for long. They're wondering how are they going to escape this ship. So Captain Underpants pulls out a toilet paper roll, and he says that they can swing on that. Yeah. I guess. So, I guess about that. Captain Underpants mentions that he can swing on it because he swung on it in his latest comic book, but unfortunately they try it and they all die. The end. Thank you for watching this video. I'm just joking. Anyways, if you clicked out, go away. I'm just joking. Anyways, the real thing is that the toilet paper, of course, could not hold the weight of the three because, well, it's 2-ply. It's just toilet paper, okay? So they fall to the ground and say that they're doomed, but then they hear the spaceship blowing up, and I believe the aliens are dead. Rip aliens. Rest in peace. But then then Captain Underpants' cape suddenly whooshes out like a giant parachute, and then they float down really, really slowly into the mouth of the mutant dandelion. Tell me, would you guys rather be blown up by a really cool explosion from a UFO or get eaten by a mutant dandelion? Leave your vote in the comment section below. Anyways, so apparently Captain Underpants got caught in the mouth, and George and Harold are still free. Captain Underpants doesn't have any superpowers to protect them, but George still has the superpower juice, so he decides to resort to it and gives Captain Underpants the superpower juice, resorting into other fliporamas as explained here. So, Captain Underpants, and the help with his new superpowers, was able enough to defeat the terrifying dandelion of doom. So, what did Jordan Herald do? They use the anti-evil lunchroom zombie nerds. It's like a juice that makes them go back to normal, and they decide to use it on the lunchroom zombie nerds to turn everyone back to normal. George tells Captain Underpants to put on some clothes and turn him back to Mr. Krupp, pour water on his head, and everything turns back to normal. Everything's good until when someone snapped their fingers and Captain Underpants returns. So yeah, that's Captain Underpants and the invasion of the incredibly naughty cafeteria ladies from outer space and the substance assault of the equally evil lunchroom zombie nerds review. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Stay tuned for Captain Underpants and the perilous plot. I can't say that word. Professor Poopy Pants, the fourth epic novel by Dave Pilkey in the series review, and I rate this book a 8.5 out of 10 because I really wish that this book may have been a little bit I don't want to say longer, but I wish this the title, darn it, would have had a shorter title. So yeah, thank you guys for watching.